what's up? Hello, everyone. Welcome into Fantasy Filmball, the show where we turn movies into sports and sports into something we don't talk about here. My name is Matt.
My name is Dyl. It is super early over here stateside, but we're up because we are hyped for these BAFTA nominations to happen any second now. And I'm prepared for either some big W's or some big L's here today.
I get to congratulate
all right, Rising Star.
of this year's EE Rising Star Award.
Yeah, we didn't
Marisa
predict this one.
Abella.
That makes sense.
Jarrell Jerome, David Johnson, Mikey Madison, and Naban Rizwan. Everyone get voted.
Interesting lineup there.
Very
The
interesting.
winner
Joel Jerome
David
is not really-
Johnson's
BAFTA Film Awards
this
on Sunday,
year
the 16th
and
of
not
February.
last year because he just did Rye Lane.
Now
He
we will
did.
announce the nominees from 12 of
I
the
guess
categories.
Alien this year.
A BAFTA nom. Congratulations
Mikey Madison
to
should
you all
win
in
that award,
advance.
Probably.
So,
If it's open to the
without
public,
further
though, I could see
Whoa.
it goes to someone else.
They go with
The
the
nominees
Brits,
for
always.
Outstanding
Always with the
Debut
Brits.
by a British writer, director, or producer
All right,
are
outstanding debut. Here we go.
Luna
Okay.
Carmoon,
We know we're going to see Kneecap
Hold.
here.
Richard
Ooh.
Pepiot,
Okay, I
There's
know nothing
Kneecap.
about that one. Kneecap.
Dev Patel,
Nice for Dev Patel.
Monkey Man,
Dev Patel. Oh,
Sandia
let's see Grand
Suri,
Theft Hamlet. Let's
James
see Grand Theft
Boucher,
Hamlet.
Baltazar Digane,
Grand Theft Hamlet. Come on.
Santosh, Karan Kandari,
Grand Theft.
Sister Midnight.
Oh,
God
sad.
damn it. No Grand Theft Hamlet. That sucks.
The nominees for original screenplay are
Ooh.
Honora,
Jumping into
written
the
by
big
Sean
boys.
Baker. The Brutalist,
Right.
written by Brady Corbet
Nice.
and Mona Vosfold. Kneecap,
Do they skip
written
a
by
real
Rich
pain, or is that an
Pepiat.
R?
Story by Rich Pepiat.
I'm
Nisha
behind you, I
O'Carrollon,
guess.
Liam O'Gohanna,
I just got Kneecap.
JJ O'Doherty.
Okay, there.
A Real Pain, written by Jesse Eisenberg. The
Okay, A Real
Substance,
Pain.
written by
I was
Coralie
wrong.
Farge.
On my long shot there.
Did you
The
see what the
nominees
last
for
one
adapted
was?
Screenplay are
Substance, yeah.
A
Substance,
Complete
yeah.
Unknown.
I mean, of course.
Screenplay by James
Okay,
Mangold and
adapted.
John Cox.
Nice.
Conclave.
Nice.
Screenplay by Peter Strawn.
Okay.
All right,
Emilia
question
Perez.
here.
Written by Jack
They skipped
Audiard.
Dune. They skipped Dune.
Nickel
Oh
Boys.
my
Dude,
God.
I
Screenplay
said it
by
was
Ramel
possible.
Ross and Jocelyn
Nickel Boys
Barnes.
is here.
That's really good
Sing
for
Sing.
Nickel Boys.
Screenplay by
And
Greg
Sing
Bentley,
Sing.
Greg Quidar.
And Sing Sing.
Story by
Wow.
Greg Bentley,
Wow.
Greg
Well,
Quidar,
Sing Sing getting in here
Clarence
leads me to
Divine I.
have
Macklin,
a little bit of
John
faith that
Divine
Clarence
G.
Macklin
Whitfield.
can make it over into supporting actor.
Oh,
The
this
nominees
lineup
for
gives me
film not
hope.
in the English language are
Okay, non-English
Film
language
not in the
now.
language.
All We Imagine Is Light,
Perfect. Okay, Fig. We need Fig here.
Amelia
Flow.
Perez,
We want flow.
I'm Still Here, Onde Estoy Aquí,
Okay,
Skipped Flow. I'm still here.
Kneecap,
sad.
Kneecap
Seed of the
and
Sacred
See the Sacred Fig.
Yeah.
Bam.
Sad for
5 for
flow.
5.
Nominees for children's and family film
It's not a
are
non-English language film.
Flow.
I go
There's
over
no,
this every
there's
time.
no
It's
meows.
not-
Kensuke's
Meows aren't
Kingdom.
English.
But like,
Wallace and Gromit.
it's not another
Vengeance
language.
Most Foul. The
I
Wild
don't know.
Road.
Children's film. We got Flow, Wallace and Gromit,
the
Wild
nominees
Robot.
for director
Only 4
are
noms.
Sean
Director.
Baker, Honora,
Oh my God.
Okay.
Sean Baker.
Brady Corbet, The Brutalist,
Oh no, Jacques Audiard.
Edward Berger, Conclave,
What?
No
What?
Jacques
Denis
Audiard.
Villeneuve, Dune Part 2,
Denis Villeneuve.
Jacques Audiard,
You just won.
Amelia Perez,
Oh nope. How are they?
Coralie
Oh, they're doing
Farge,
it in
The
film order.
Substance.
Denis Villeneuve lives.
Oh,
He
wow, they
lives.
skipped
For
Pyle
supporting
Kapadia.
actress are
He lives. He's not out.
Selena Gomez, Emilia Perez,
Selena
Selena
Gomez.
Wicked,
Oh,
Felicity Jones.
chat's gonna hate the Gomez nomination. Okay, Felicity Jones.
Hilarious.
You win some, you lose some.
Felicity
Last
Jones,
Showgirl.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Isabella Rossellini,
She's happening at this point
Conclave.
with these 2 nominations.
And
Zoe
Saldana.
Saldana,
Saldana.
Emilia Perez.
Okay. Well, I was right about 2 Amelia. It was
Yeah,
Gomez
I
at
got
the end
5
of the
for
day.
6 there.
Supporting
I just didn't
actor
get Michelle Austin, so that's
I was-
maybe a bad sign for Marianne Jean
Yura
Baptiste.
Borisov, Honora,
Borisov has
Kieran
everything.
Culkin, A Real
Borisov has
Pain,
everything.
Clarence Macklin, Sing Sing,
Dude,
Edward
okay.
Norton,
Clarence
A
Macklin.
Complete
Clarence
Unknown,
Macklin.
Clarence Macklin.
He's back. He's
Guy
back.
Clarence
He's
Macklin
back.
has BAFTA.
Jeremy Strong, The Apprentice.
Okay, Jeremy Strong. Apprentice Miss Sound screenplay.
nominees for
Strong's
leading
here.
actress
We'll have to
are
see what Stan does.
So that was
Cynthia
just that was
Erivo,
what we had except
Wicked.
Tucci. Cynthia Erivo.
Carla Sofia
Nice,
Gascon,
nice.
Emilia
Carlos
Nice.
Perez.
Gaston. Give me Marianne
Marianne
Jean-Baptiste.
Jean-Baptiste.
Need it.
Hard
Yes.
Truth. Mikey Madison. Honora.
Good hope.
So this should be the
Demi
top
Moore.
5 plus
The
Baptiste.
Substance.
Yep.
Saoirse
should be.
Ronan. The Outrun.
Saoirse Ronan, the Outrun.
The nominees
Saoirse
for
Ronan,
leading
the
actor
Outrun.
are
Okay, so we were wrong about Nicole Kidman there, and we've been
Adrian
wrong
Brody,
about her
The
multiple
Brutalist.
times.
Timothy
I'm happy
Chalamet,
for her. I haven't seen
The
Outrun
Complete
yet,
Unknown.
but she at least gets something.
Coleman
Okay, Timothy
Domingo, Sing
Chalamet.
Sing.
Coleman
Right,
Domingo.
fine.
This one should be
Sing.
exactly as expected, right?
Hugh
We'll
Grant,
see.
So we're going to finish
Heretic.
this with Daniel Craig.
Sebastian
Daniel
Stan,
Craig.
The Apprentice.
Sebastian Stan.
And the nominees for Outstanding
Daniel
British
Craig.
Film are
Sebastian Stan
Missed
has a
the one
path
place
now.
he should have.
He has a path
Let's-
now. There's Bird, so
Conclave.
can't go 10 for 10 here. You can.
Gladiator 2.
Okay.
Hard
Gladiator 2.
Truths.
Yeah.
Nico.
Truths.
Lee. Love Lies Bleeding.
Okay.
Okay.
The
Okay,
Outrun.
Love Lies Bleed's here, so something missed.
Wallace and Gromit's not gonna
Vengeance
be
Most
here.
Foul.
No.
Oh, no, it's Civil War. Civil War myth.
Wow. Civil War
The
made all this
nominees
long
for
list.
Best Film are
Whoa.
Honora.
Already the best film.
Already.
The
Okay,
Brutalist.
Honora. So we're going to see Brutalist.
A Complete
see
Substance
Unknown,
or Wicked? Substance or
Conclave,
Wicked?
Amelia Perez.
5 for 5.
A huge
Wow.
congratulations to all of the nominees.
Nice.
Today's full list of
Okay,
nominations
so-
are now live on BAFTA's website.
Let's go to BAFTA's website.
Oh. The Substance underperformed. No Margaret Qualley. No Margaret Qualley, no picture.
No picture. I mean, that goes back to what we were saying in our predictions episode. Can Qualley live without it in Best Picture? And this leads me to believe no. Obviously, it's going to get Best Picture at the Oscars because there's 10 or 10 nominees. But now the question becomes, does Qualley live in a lineup of 10 for picture, or does it just have to be a lineup of 5?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I have the
Damn.
BAFTA website pulled up now. While we wait for BAFTA to post the rest of the press release here, maybe it's online at this moment. We're just not really seeing it. Big takeaway so far is A Complete Unknown did get that 5th slot in Best Picture. It got Edward Norton. It got Edward Norton, and it got Timmy. Barbara wasn't on the long list, so she couldn't have been here for an overperformance, but it did get adapted screenplay. So far, A Complete Unknown has got every possible nomination it could have so far, which to me bodes strength for that film. It just opened over across the pond, and this goes back to what I've been kind of saying throughout this award season, like this is a spot Timmy can upset at. Not predicting that currently at this moment, but BAFTA went out for Austin Butler in past years. They showed they really love these transformative performances, and then I guess in the years of sweeps they did do Joaquin Phoenix and they did do Will Smith over some more BAFTA favorites, you could call them. So, I don't know. I still think this is a race after the Golden Globe did go to Brody, which I think was a major swing in his favor. But, I mean, Timmy's still fighting for SAG. He's still fighting for BAFTA. He wins 2 of those, or I guess he wins both of those, and it could be 2-2 heading into the Oscar morning.
So looking at the different actors, so these are the people who have gotten every single nomination so far, being Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, SAG, and BAFTA. Mikey Madison, Demi Moore, Carla Sofia Gascon, Cynthia Erivo, Adrian Brody, Timothy Chalamet, Ralph Fiennes, Coleman Domingo, Zoe Saldana, Ariana Grande, Kieran Culkin, Edward Norton, Yuri Borisov. So with that list, for every year for the past few years, we've had one person that's got all of those nominations miss. Last year it was Margot Robbie in Barbie. The year before was Viola Davis in The Woman King. If we're thinking about who it could be this year, who would be some of your guesses of these incredibly strong performers who have gotten every nomination, who might be vulnerable still?
I mean, I would have said if Daniel Craig got it here, he would have had everything, and he would have been my pick to be that person to miss, but he missed the BAFTA. So I can't say Daniel Craig. So I don't know. I know a lot of people are going to jump to Cynthia Erivo, but I think that she is so much stronger than Margot Robbie was last year because, while yes, I see the parallels between both being the leading actress of a giant blockbuster, no shade to Margot Robbie. I feel like Erivo is checking off more of the boxes of what this branch typically goes out for. She's singing. She is so transformative. She dominates the screen. And most people coming out of Wicked are either talking about Erivo or they are talking about Grande, where I felt like with Barbie last year, it was kind of all behind Ryan Gosling. And then, yes, there were people who were like, oh, Robbie is great as well, but like more of the acting push was for Gosling. It's still so weird that Robbie did miss last year. And I feel like the person who Robbie did miss for was Annette Bening. This year, we have an open slot for the Annette Bening of this year, whether that is Pamela Anderson, whether that is Marion Jean-Baptiste, I really think, or whether that is Pamela Anderson, Marion Jean-Baptiste, or if it's Fernanda Torres, we have that open fifth slot where they don't have to kick out someone like last year where they kind of had to kick out someone because we had 6, 7 strong contenders. This year we have a top 4, and then we have that open fifth.
I do still kind of feel like Cynthia Erivo is the most vulnerable of those people who are the quote unquote locks of this year. And that's just because seeing the pattern, I mean, Margot Robbie, Viola Davis, both from pretty big movies, blockbusters that typically don't have awards contenders come along with them. And of these nominees, that kind of feels like it applies to both Demi Moore and Cynthia Erivo, who are in these types of movies that normally don't get acting nominations, the either genre or blockbusters. But that said, Demi Moore is win competitive. She is not on the chopping block. And so I feel like I just have to go back to, can Cynthia Erivo miss? And I do think that we can get 2 of those 3 that you mentioned, of Pamela Anderson, Marianne Jean-Baptiste, and Fernanda Torres. I think 2 of those can come into the top 5. And in my opinion, it would be Fernanda Torres and Marianne Jean-Baptiste. But it feels dumb to predict that when there's no reason to believe that Cynthia Erivo will miss other than just a pattern that one person who has everything misses. Let's take a look at this.
Yeah, finally, they're all up now.
Wow. I mean, you were saying the other day that they really go for the celebrity docs, and they went for 2 of them here.
Okay, Superman and Will and Harper. Okay.
Superman and Will and Harper.
They did No Other Land. They did Daughters. They did Black Box Diaries. So I know
Black Box, Daughters, and No Other Land looking great. This is an important nomination for Will and Harper. Could that be foretelling it getting into the lineup? I'm not sure. I don't know. Because
I mean,
normally
great...
BAFTA will nominate these types and then Oscar will skip them.
That it is a great mention, at least to keep it in the conversation. Getting over here, I know we didn't have a lot of BAFTA long list and Oscar long list overlap, so there is a 4 potential overlap here, and we'll have to see how that carries. But yeah, I mean, I think this is really good for Black Box Diaries, for Daughters, continuing to hold strong. No Other Land, at least to me, is still the front runner. So we'll have to see how that does with nominations. But yeah, Superman can't get nominated, but again, it continues to show up everywhere else that it can get nominated.
All right, and animated film, we have...
I see Flo.
4 for
Inside
4.
Out 2, Wallace and Wild Robots.
Yeah, it's like we were saying, they're not going to do 2... it's like we were saying, they're not going to do 2 cool indie nominations. They're going to go 3 mainstream, 1 indie. That is the BAFTA pattern. Now the question is, can Flo win here? I hope so. I think so.
I really like both Flo and Wild Robots, so I won't be overtly upset regardless of who wins. But to keep the race interesting, Flo showing up here continues to have a chance. Would have loved to see Flo over in non-English to show even more strength. So I think it'll be interesting this year is, will Flo just get the Globe, or can it snag BAFTA as well?
All right, so casting is our next category, and I know we were both thinking about how many movies with kids can get in here, and also this is a rare time when we've had a 5 for 5 overlap with Ensemble from SAG and the casting long list. So how many of those can make it in? All right, I'm seeing Anora, The Apprentice, Complete Unknown, Conclave, Kneecap.
Ooh.
Oh, you got Kneecap right. God damn.
Yeah, Kneecap's in here, and I know there was a lot of conversation online about, hey, will they do it because it's casting the actual rappers as themselves? But to me, more so than SAG, I think that works. SAG is about the ensemble, and I feel like SAG people are very gatekeepy with stuff like that. While BAFTA, I feel like it's just about the best person for the role. They show that when they only nominate ensembles that are for one role. So like that didn't really seem like a hang up for me. But yeah, we have Kneecap here. We do have a 3 for 5 overlap with ensemble, and the fact that the 3 don't include Wicked and don't include Amelia Perez, I think is pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, I was comparing Amelia Perez to Poor Things and saying it's a small ensemble where everyone is getting nominated at the BAFTA, and man, that's correct, because I was saying like that should be the front runner. That should be the one that's, you know, aiming to win because it's so strong in all of the acting categories. But I guess, wow, that's really odd. And then they went Conclave because we were saying it can't be Conclave because they don't like to go for the large ensembles.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some. And I think the most interesting thing here is looking at this lineup, there is no guaranteed acting winner parallel. Well, yes, Mikey Madsen is probably the front runner for Honora. Timothy Chalamet could win for Complete Unknown. Those are really your only 2 chances. And like almost every year, the acting or the casting category parallels to an acting winner. I think it may even be every year of this category's existence. So, like, this bodes really well for Mikey Madsen and Timothy Chalamet for a chance to secure the win here. Not saying they're dead in the race, not saying it's guaranteed, but based off of the short track record we have here, looks really strong for them.
And also, bad sign for me going all in on Blitz Tex, because Blitz not being here, I feel like that could be foretelling that I'm about to get a lot of things wrong.
Well, I will say this is a no child lineup unless they're considering Mark Edelstein and Honora as a child. But yeah, besides
no
that,
in this one.
No children.
There's
that
a
is
couple
a
of
first
kids
for the
in Kneecap.
category. Okay. Then I guess that could count for their quota.
Yeah, but it's for like 5 minutes. There's like a few minutes where the members of the band are kids, and it's like flashbacks. But otherwise, yeah, there's nothing. Okay, on to cinematography. We've got 5 for 5.
Conclave, Dune, Amelia, Nosferatu, and I mean that is the BSC
that's
5.
5 for 5 BSC.
And I mean, ASC will probably, we say probably, but maybe not. Maybe they go 5 for 5 here as well. But ASC could throw in a Complete Unknown at the expense of, I don't really even know who at this point, because these 5 are just so strong. And I mean, I think we are gearing up for the chance for the Oscars to do a sequel in this category. Dune Part 2 could have everything. The thing that stopped Avatar The Way of Water is it missed out on key precursors. Top Gun Maverick the same. I don't really
Top
remember.
Gun did not miss out on anything. That was the thing.
I thought it did miss out on a major precursor.
As far as I can remember, let me just pull up this. I've got it here. Let me just see. Hang on.
But I could be mistaken.
Top Gun only missed BSC.
Well,
which
that's something.
Having ASC, BAFTA, Critics' Choice seemed like it was good enough, because BSC kind of went crazy that year.
They did Bardo. They're cool.
No, they didn't. They didn't do Bardo.
I take it back. BSC are not cool.
They did Elvis, Batman, All Quiet, Tar, and Banshees of Inisherin.
Well, still some cool nominations. But yeah, cinematography this year, these 5 look really, really, really strong. A Complete Unknown is really the only thing I could see fizzling something out here. But I mean, like, A Complete Unknown did so strong here at BAFTA and still could not make this lineup. Maybe this is just our 5, and we have 4 Best Picture nominees, and then Nosferatu, which continues to just show its strength in these technical categories. Be interested to see if this is the only one here, or if it can get up to 4.
That is true. This could be an early show of strength for Nosferatu throughout the rest of the below-the-line categories. All right, editing. We've got...
We got Kneecap showing up.
Wow. Kneecap's
so
here
what
at
missed?
the expense of... I know I had The Substance, but I think you might have had A Complete Unknown.
I don't really remember what I had, but that does sound right. But yeah, Honora, Conclave, Dune, Amelia. I think those 4 are so secure for the Oscar, and they have been secure for the Oscar for a long time. And it really is, what is that 5th slot?
Challengers was the one that you had.
Okay.
Because what we were bouncing between, I was saying that the Substance is in, and then a Complete Unknown, Kneecap, and Challengers could take one of them out.
Gotcha.
And so Kneecap took out Substance.
Yeah, and
Substance.
That parallels with
missing.
the best film category that we talked about in multiple categories. Like, hey, if these films are missing on best film, can they really get all of these technical nominations? And at least I think my reasoning for Challengers was one, I wasn't overtly strong about clearly because I couldn't even remember I predicted it. But BAFTA does go out of their way to do cool things in this category. We've seen them do Summer of Soul. We've seen them do docs. Other docs, we've seen them do films that aren't really in any other categories. But I guess this year, that other film is Kneecap, which is the cool nomination that won't really get that anywhere else. So, it bodes strong. And then we'll come down to the Oscar. Will they do Brutalist, which has 0 precursors? Will they do Challengers, which has a few? Will they do another Best Picture film like The Substance or Wicked? Be really interesting stuff.
All right, so costume design, what we're looking for here is Nosferatu for this to go 5 for 5 with the Oscars. Blitz. A Complete Unknown.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
So something is missing here.
Dune's missing.
Dune's
Gladiator's
out.
missing.
Conclave, Nosferatu, Wicked. I mean, 4 of my Oscar 5 is here of Wicked, Nosferatu, Conclave, and A Complete Unknown. Dune is a major miss here. And that's weird, too, because Dune got director. Dune is performing at least strong here.
Yeah.
And, going
and
back
it just got
to Denis,
editing and cinematography as well, so,
going back...
Weird that it's missing below the lines.
Going back to Denis getting director, that's so funny that he gets director this time around and not film, when last time around he got film and not director. But yeah... BAFTA recognizes real.
It was juried last time, right?
It was.
So now it's not juried.
But yeah, costume designs, Blitz does show its strength here, and this was the category throughout the season I felt
Blitz
like Blitz was the strongest and more so than Sound, just because of the branch favorite. But I still didn't think it would happen. So that's pretty big for it.
That is pretty big for it. It hasn't been getting any of the guild love or anything. So I don't know, man. I can justify dropping Gladiator 2 after missing here. I don't think I can justify dropping Dune.
Yeah, I think I will still have Blitz out with Dune as my 5th with the other 4 in this category. But, I mean, BAFTA throwing up a shakeup, which we always love to see. That's to move us over to makeup and hairstyling, where we have Dune showing up. So that makes the costume miss a little bit more interesting. Amelia's here, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked. So this is basically my Oscar 5. I'm toying with the idea of dropping Dune at the Oscars, but yeah.
So there was no Apprentice here, which is something I was expecting because, I mean, unlike most years, we don't have a biopic in this lineup. They didn't do A Complete Unknown or The Apprentice. And Beetlejuice starting to show that it might be the weakest of the 3 monster makeup movies, being Nosferatu, Substance, and Beetlejuice. But otherwise, I mean, Emilia Perez is showing every bit of strength that it needs to make it into the makeup category. Same with The Substance, same with Wicked. So I think it's clear those are our top 3. Then the question is just, do you keep in Nosferatu, Dune Part 2, or do you swap them out with something else?
Yeah, and that is the question. And, I mean, I feel great about 4 of these. I think Nosferatu is fine. It's getting everything that it needs. I think it really comes down to Dune. Will the Oscars respond to just makeup on 2 specific characters? Which, I mean, we see year after year. They don't care when they say the makeup and hairstyling nominations. The makeup's really for like 1 performance in those movies. So like maybe we are overreacting to the news that's only for The Baron and for Fade Rotha, or maybe they're like, hey, we've done the rest of it before. We don't really need to do it this time around, and we'll do the Billy Zane, Marlon Brando movie instead.
All right, original score. This is going to be an interesting one because is it just the top 4?
I saw something which gives me hope, because the BAFTAs have succumbed to the darkness. Nosferatu continues to show up in these texts, including original score, and that has been my 5th at the Oscars for a little bit over The Wild Robot, and it getting the BAFTA recognition here helps me with that thought.
Why would you go with that? Because The Wild Robot has everything right now.
I mean,
it's
I know that
is it still the animation bias that you're going with?
I think if Wild Robot gets score or it gets song, it has to win an animated feature. I think after the Globes that Flow will continue its more international appeal over in that category and over in the BAFTA animated feature. And I feel like when we get to the Oscar, if people are really gung-ho about Wild Robot giving it multiple nominations, I don't really think we can have that switch. And I mean,
I don't know,
yes.
man. I mean, Wild Robot had 4 nominations at the Golden Globes and lost.
It did, but I don't know. Wild Robot's score and song have both felt like things that just aren't really up their alley. And I know Nosferatu is so off the beaten path, but I feel like that's a film that is emerging in the race. There's a chance it can get 4 tech nominations, and that could propel its way into Best Picture for that slot 10, especially if stuff like Sing Sing. But I mean, Sing Sing had a great rebound here at BAFTA today. But
Yes.
it's really going to come down to the PGAs whenever those are officially announced. Is Nosferatu there? Is Challengers there? Is Nickel Boys there? Is Sing Sing there? Obviously, all 4 can't make it, but 2 can. And we can throw in a Real Pain as well.
Nickel
so
Boys.
I think, yeah, Nickel Boys is looking, I think, better for that. Currently, I would have Nickel Boys and Nosferatu as my last 2 at PGA.
Okay,
And I think
cool,
they
cool,
would
cool,
carry
cool.
over to the Oscar.
I was worried that you were just gonna snub Nickel Boys altogether, and I'm hoping. I'm
Yeah,
hoping
we
it clings
talked
on.
Nickel Boys before. It's one I'm scared about, but getting the adapted nomination here after a pretty abysmal showing on the rest gives me hope that picture adapted could be its path. But for that movie, that's such a weird path for that film.
Also, shout out to the fact that Blitz has only gotten 1 tech category so far, and it's the one that I didn't predict for it.
Well,
So,
let's see if your boy Adam Stockhausen can get in for production design.
All right, let's see.
And right off the bat, the answer is no.
God damn it.
Brutalist is the
God
first
damn
one.
it! I picked all the wrong ones for Blitz.
I mean,
So,
we have
I mean,
Brutalist, Conclave, Dune, Nosferatu, and Wicked as our 5
We both
here.
went 4 for 5 because I went Blitz, you went Complete Unknown, and we got Conclave instead.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess Conclave makes sense. It's the BAFTA movie. This may end up being our Oscar 5 at
This
the end of
looks
the
like
day.
our Oscar 5. It really does.
Because, yeah, even with a Complete Unknown overperforming in the Best Film category, it's not seeming like it's getting a lot of these extra below-the-line nominations outside of costume design. So, but yeah, this looks like our Oscar 5. And, I mean, for the Blitz thing, costumes is the weakest category. That's why I've always said that's the one for it to overperform. We'll see when we get to sound here if that can help you out as well. But, like, production design, that one just seems so strong that I just didn't see how Blitz could break its way in.
Yeah. It's also worth noting that the 5 films here all have now BAFTA, Critics' Choice, Art Directors Guild, and Set Directors Guild. So all 5 of these have every single thing that they need.
Alrighty.
And meanwhile, one other film has 3 out of 4, which is Gladiator 2.
So, yeah, I guess
So
Gladiator...
that's our top 5. Gladiator
Yeah.
2 is just on the outside.
And I mean, Gladiator 2 is such on the downward trajectory. Denzel, he didn't get the BAFTA here today. We didn't even acknowledge that. But Denzel
yeah,
is
we
on the
didn't
way
acknowledge
out.
that once again.
It's missing a lot of these technical nominations. I mean, there's a world where Gladiator 2 blanks at the Oscars. And it's like a Woman King, where
Yeah, as it
it's
should.
expected to get a few techs and 1 acting performance, and it just gets nothing. So, yikes.
It gets what it deserves.
Well, that's the move to the sound category, and here you go. Here's a Blitz nomination.
There's Blitz. All right. And we skipped a Complete Unknown. Wow.
Complete
Skipped a
Unknown's
Complete
performance
Unknown.
is so
skipped
weird here.
Amelia Perez.
Gladiator 2 gets its way in. So does Substance. But here's the thing. Substance isn't on the Oscar long list. So
Yeah.
it can't be a 5 for 5 overlap. And I mean, that gives your pick of Amelia or your pick of A Complete Unknown to take out that spot. And then you would assume with those films' strength in Best Picture, they would probably kick out either Gladiator 2 or Blitz as well.
Yeah. I would assume so. I'm not taking this to mean anything for Gladiator 2 when Gladiator 2 is flopping everywhere else. It didn't even make the Motion Picture Sound Editors Guild. So right now, Complete Unknown still feels better than these. Amelia Perez still feels better than these. So I think, yeah, that's a weird lineup. That's only 2 out of my Oscars 5.
2.
I don't have Blitz.
Yeah. That's right. I thought there's another movie here that's obviously not here. Because, yeah, I don't have Blitz or Gladiator or Substance, so it's 2 out of my 5 as well. So now we are off to special visual effects. We have Better Man showing up here. BAFTA is representing for their boy Robbie Williams, that cool monkey. How many monkeys are we going to get in this category? We have Dune Part 2. We have Gladiator 2, Apes, Wicked. Yeah. Or I guess Mufasa missed out. But we have 4 of the 5 monkeys.
Yeah, 4 out of 5 monkeys. Like we were saying, Deadpool and Wolverine might be strong at the Oscars, not strong here. And after Wicked had a disastrous performance at the and after Wicked and Gladiator had terrible performances at the VES the other day, they are both here. So that's really good for both of them. This looks like it very well could be our Oscar 5, but I think we're going to see Alien Romulus and Deadpool and Wolverine take out a couple of these. It's just a question, what do they take out? Do they take out Better Man? Do they take out Gladiator 2? Do they take out Wicked?
Yeah, I think that Deadpool and Wolverine is a guarantee at the Oscars to take out one of these. BAFTA, as we talked about in our predictions episode, rarely ever does the MCU movies unless that movie is undeniable in the category. And we've seen the Oscars, as long as there's one MCU movie in a year, it doesn't matter what the quality of the visual effects are, they'll do it. So here we have Deadpool and Wolverine. It's the only option for them. I'm assuming that will take out something. If Gladiator 2 blanks, it could be that. If Better Man doesn't connect with the Academy, it could be that. Wicked, I feel like, is safe there. It's the strongest film. But I say that, and Poor Things missed out last year. So it could end up being Wicked at the end of the day.
But Wicked has much more visual effects than Poor Things. They might not be very strong visual effects, but there is more. It is in basically every scene. So right now, I would swap out Better Man and Gladiator 2 and put in Alien Romulus and Deadpool and Wolverine. So.
Yeah, Better Man and Romulus are kind of my battle for the last spot. And I know there's no more in-person bake-off, so I'll be interested to see how the virtual bake-off goes, if there's a buzz for either of those films to really sway the way for that last spot. But that is the last category here for the BAFTAs. And,
Although, worth mentioning, Wander to Wonder got a short film nomination, and so that's definitely a good sign for that, which is one of the shorts that's shortlisted for animated short. So maybe that could be a good sign. The other one in the live action category that's shortlisted is Clodagh, which did not get nominated here, and I think that's probably a bad sign for the Oscars as well.
And if you want to hear more about the shorts category, Matt just dropped a full in-depth video on the channel, so definitely go check that out. He's got a great track record. It's better than a lot of the other major websites' consensus ones, so you can gain a few points on your awards expert and Gold Derby submissions. I always do every year, and it helps me out a little bit. But yeah, BAFTA overall, we have surprises, we have shocks, we have stuff that we would come to expect for BAFTA, but I think this really helps formulate a lot of these categories at the race and submits which films are stronger and which films are a little bit weaker in each category.
So what are some of our big takeaways today? For me, I think I'm going to have to take some time to think about how this affects the substance. The fact that it only got director, screenplay, Demi Moore, and then sound. And makeup. So 5 nominations total.
And then I don't want to be a complete hater for the movie, but BAFTA does have its weird rules in the Best Director category. And then you would have to think, if there were the potential for them to do 6 men, would they have done a 6-man instead of Corley Farja? With the rest of the nominations here, I'm not super strong on that. I still think Farja would have been fine, but I think it is a question just based off of the performance across the other categories here at BAFTA.
It is an unfortunate question that we have to ask when there is a quota. Oh, God. And it sucks. It really sucks that is a question that comes to mind, because, Corley Farja is a strong enough director to make it completely based on merit. But the question's always going to be there. Is Corley Farja there because they had no choice but to nominate one woman in the lineup? Or is Corley Farja there based on, just the film itself? I don't I mean, I would like to think it's the film itself. So hopefully.
And I think so as well. The dog next door clearly agrees as well. He's barking up a storm to disagree with that point. But yeah, outside of the substance, Wicked did pretty fine across the board. It got some tech nominations. It got both of its actresses in. You probably, if you want to see a stronger Wicked performance, would have wanted to see it maybe in like editing, or I don't even remember if it made the editing long list. I think it did.
I don't remember either. I don't
And
remember
then,
either.
did it get adapted screenplay? No, it didn't. So you may have wanted to see it get adapted screenplay over something like Nickel Boys or Sing Sing, which didn't make the film long list here at BAFTA. So same thing for Substance. It didn't do awful. It didn't overperform, though.
And A Complete Unknown definitely overperformed, but it didn't overperform to a major extent. But I think we can probably agree that the top 5 we have here is the Oscars top 5. If there were only 5 nominees, this would probably be what it is, give or take swapping A Complete Unknown for Wicked.
I would agree there. And then, I mean, depending on what the technical nomination total for Dune would be at the end of the day, maybe Dune would be in contention for the 5th slot, but it's the 5th slot. It's not a huge debate here. Our top 4 is Conclave, is Amelia, is Brutalist, is Anora. Maybe Wicked cements itself in the top 4 after a SAG and PGA possible win, but we aren't really to those points yet.
And Anora did very, very well, getting every single thing it needed, plus casting, which might show a little bit of love for, just the work on the film at large. So that's strong for it. It's looking good. Emilia Perez is looking good. Both of those seem like they could be on their way to being our winners at BAFTA if The Brutalist can't pull it off.
And I still don't think Conclave is completely out of the race here. It also got that casting. It got a lot of nominations. I'm trying to think of one. But besides maybe Tucci, but Tucci I don't think was a real
miss.
I know that we both predicted it, but we were both predicting just because, BAFTA will probably do him. We don't think that they'll do Macklin. There's no one else in this category. But in retrospect, Tucci hasn't gotten anywhere. So it probably wasn't very smart for us to predict him here.
And poor Denzel. Once again, missing his BAFTA nomination.
I mean, someone said this a few weeks ago in our Discord. It's like, at this point, just maybe it was you actually. Just don't nominate him. Just let him have this career of 0 BAFTA nominations, and just to be like this mark and be like, well, he's one of the greatest of all time, but this awards body can never recognize him, which is still insane.
Anyways, that's going to bring us to the end of today's video. Let us know what you think of these nominations down in the comments below. But as always, my name's Matt.
My name's Dyl. This has been Fantasy Filmball.